In our video that talks all about trends for engagement rings for this year, one of the biggest trends I talked about was the desire for something more unique and more personal. And of course, this is very understandable. You've spent most of your life looking for the one, and it feels almost counterintuitive to just walk into a store and pick out an engagement ring that anyone else can wear. It feels much more natural to have something that's very unique and suits your very specific style, but also kind of tells your story and the story of your relationship. So today I'm going to dive a little bit more into that idea and talk about some of the unique ways that you can come up with a very unique and special engagement ring. So obviously when it comes to engagement rings, diamonds are by far the most popular stone of choice. And in the last 10 years or so, I would say there's definitely a movement away from diamonds, not only because of the cost, but also that just desire for very unique and more colorful designs. So people have been moving towards birthstones a lot more and colored gemstones in general. Of course, when it comes to this, there is the very real reality that you might not actually like your birthstone, and that definitely happens with a lot of people. And so I would just say open your mind to, the different colored gems that you can use. And you can still use the very fun and kind of personal idea of birthstones, but you can expand that quite a bit. One very nice idea is to actually use the birthstone of your fiance, and I've actually done this. I have my own birthstone as an engagement ring and the birthstone of my fiance as my wedding band, so that they pair very nicely together. But you can also use the birthstone of another cherished family member. You can also think of it more as the month. Instead of it being a birth month, it could be the month that you're getting engaged, or maybe the stone that represents the month that you'll get married, or your first date, or the month that you first met. These are all kind of very special ideas. The other thing is thinking of colored gems a little bit more in a wider sense. So of course you could use your favorite color. If you love pink, there are so many amazing, different pink gems and every color of the rainbow. But you could also use gems that have been sourced from a very special place. So if you have a very memorable holiday that you went on with your partner, or where you met, or maybe where you're from or where they're from, there are gemstones sourced all over the world, and you just have to do a little bit of research in order to find those things that may fit your personality and help to tell your story a little bit better. Of course, if you really love diamonds, that's absolutely what you should choose as your engagement ring, but you can make it very personal and special still with the stones that you pair with it. So you could use some of those stones and ideas that I just mentioned. But one thing that I really love to see with diamonds that makes a very unique and special design is playing with the opacities of certain gems. So instead of choosing a birthstone that has a crystal clear transparency, some of the gems that come in other opacities that are more opaque or semi-translucent can be really interesting paired with that fire and sparkle of diamonds. So for example, diamonds paired with turquoise is amazing, or even cabochon cut gemstones. You could do a cabochon cut sapphire, emerald, ruby, or pretty much any stone. The contrast of the two is really eye-catching, really unique, and is definitely going to have people asking you about the design and allowing you to tell that very special story. Some other more opaque stones that could help complement this idea are pink opal or pearl, or even mother of pearl, since the round shape of pearls and they're so delicate, can be a little bit more vulnerable. Using a mother of pearl inlay is a great idea. You can also do lapis lazuli or even malachite, or again, just a more translucent version of a gem or color that you love. So again, as mentioned in our engagement ring trend video, we talked a lot about multi-stone rings. So obviously eternity bands as engagement rings have really been trending the last few years, as have two-stone rings, or which are also called trois et moi rings. And this, trend shows no signs of slowing down, but there are also other ideas. So three-stone rings are also making a major comeback. They were huge in the 90s and are coming back as well. They offer amazing finger coverage because you have that central stone and then two stones on either side. But there are also other eras that you can borrow from as well. So for example, five-stone rings were really popular in the Victorian era, and you can also do a seven-stone ring. And of course, these are basically becoming half eternity bands. But the amazing thing about these styles is that you can, again, really play with which stones you use. You don't have to do all diamonds. You can pair diamonds again with colored stones, and even, you know, use again meanings behind stones to tell more of a story. So you could do diamonds paired with your birthstone or your fiance's birthstone, or again bring in some of those ideas of months and when you met and that sort of thing, and colors that play beautifully together. And you could do, you know, 5 different gems, or you could do all the same, or you could do alternating gems. And again, you can also play with opacities, use things like pearls. And the other thing is that to make, you know, a ring like this look especially modern is you could do that flush style or bezel setting, which again is another big trend. But it looks very modern, and it's also very protective for the gems. So if you do want to use stones that are a little bit on the softer side, even something like a pearl or an opal, those bezel flush settings are really going to help protect that stone a little bit better and just make it a little bit more easy for daily wear. I also love the idea of doing even a signet style ring, and this could be your engagement ring, or it could even be a wedding band. You could have matching signet bands as wedding bands with your partner. And you can also incorporate gems into an all metal setting. So you could do 2 gems on the side of the signet ring, or you could do a halo of gemstones around a monogram, or your initials together with your partner. There are a lot of really special ideas to make it really personal and very unique. The next idea is to really think about mixing metals. So of course you could do different metal colors for your engagement ring and your wedding band, but you can also mix metals in one ring style. So you can think about mixing gold, rose gold, platinum, white metals, even sterling silver. And it takes a little bit of, you know, creativity to think about how you want to do this, but you know, one very simple idea is doing the band in one color and then the claws or the bezel setting of the stone in a different color. But there's lots of things you can do with the basket and the underside of the ring, and even having, you know, your bands have multicolors. We've seen that a little bit in some men's bands, more traditional stylings, a little bit more to give them a little bit more personality. But it's something really unique that you can do with your own engagement ring or even wedding band, and it does give a very luxurious look when you have those mixed metals. And the other really great thing is that you feel like it doesn't hold you back from layering and mixing your wedding set with the other jewelry that you already have. So lastly, one of the best ways to have a really unique and very special engagement ring is to really think about a unique gemstone that you can use. So beyond diamonds and beyond birthstones, there are so many gems, literally thousands of gemstones that are out there, and we just tend not to see them obviously very much at our corner jewelry store, even online or on social media. But there's so many great options to consider that are really going to give you a really special and unique look. If you want something that's truly rare and really feels like, you know, really tells a story, you could choose something like an alexandrite or a ruby. Of course, both of these gems, because of their rarity, are going to definitely be higher in price point, but it's definitely going to make you feel luxurious and that same feeling of rarity and something very special like a diamond. Of course, a colored diamond is gonna kind of give you the best of both worlds. You have that personality of the color, but that kind of rarity and again, very luxe feeling of having the diamond. These are definitely gonna be on the higher side of price points, but there's definitely different things you can kind of play around with how rich the colors are, and again, how you can combine them with different metals and even other gems to bring out the color. If you want the sparkle of a diamond, there are amazing options such as certain garnets like Demontoid garnet, which have amazing fire and sparkle and so much history and again rarity if you love that saturated green color. You can also think about a spinel or a zircon. They have rich saturated colors and amazing sparkle as well. And there are other gems that have phenomena, which a lot of people don't even know about. So you could do something like a star sapphire, or even a color change gem, like a color change sapphire. These are all things that are very special, very uncommon, and are gonna make your ring truly feel one of a kind and very suited to you. Of course, with most of these ideas, you're probably thinking, well, like you said, I can't exactly walk into my local jewelry store and find this ring. So how am I supposed to source some of these gemstones or other designs that I've barely even heard of or never even seen? So my biggest recommendation to you is to go to your local jeweler, do some research of, you know, people in your area or even just a little outside of your area. Find someone who can do custom jewelry for you. And a lot of local jewelers just don't get those requests very often, so you just don't know that they do that service. But you can talk to them about it, and if you live in a larger city, you're going to have a lot more options brands, obviously, and can also find gem dealers and gem traders. But all of these people are going to help you not only source the gems that you're looking for and provide you different options, but they can also offer those different design options where you can literally do your custom piece top to bottom and really feel such a big part of the look and design, which again is going to make it feel even more tailor-made and special for you. And above all of that is you are often getting a great deal on the price versus just shopping regular retail at the mall, or even other, very top high-end designers of big brands that we've all heard. When you do those custom pieces, you can also usually find a savings. And the other thing about these certain gemstones is that you can often find them at a great deal and a great price. So these are all great options, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is you have this very special piece of jewelry that has a great story and feels very special, as it should, as it represents your relationship. Check out our video on the best and biggest trends for engagement rings for this year if you haven't done so yet, and there are so many other great videos on the page with some of these very unique gems that we've talked about. So to get some more ideas and more information on each of those, be sure to check that out. And to learn more about gems and jewelry, be sure to visit our main page at winstongemsandjewelry.com.